Hi, friends. Welcome and thank you for joining me on today's Timeout. Last week, I shared the first of 3 segments with you of the TPC principles to help guide you as you try and strive to reach a new level of success. During today's Timeout, I'm going to share the second principle, and that is the word passion. Now, when you hear the word passion, what comes to mind? What are the first things that come to your mind when you hear the word passion? See, for most people, when they hear the word passion, they automatically equate that to sex, sexual desire, lust, and those are part of passion. They're part of the definition. That's not the passion that I'm referring to in this timeout. In fact, let me give you the definition of passion that I'm going to refer, and I want you to remember this definition as we go further into the timeout. Passion is defined as any powerful or compelling emotion or feeling as love or hate. Let me read that again. Any powerful or compelling emotion or feeling as love or hate. So as we go on, remember that definition. Again, when you think of passion, most people automatically go to the things that they like, things that they enjoy, things that they love, those activities that bring them joy or pleasure. If you don't believe me, conduct this informal poll with some of your family and friends and coworkers. Just ask them when you say, what are you passionate about? And then just sit back and listen and watch. They will give you the answers. And most of them are going to be about all the things that they love, they enjoy doing, things that brings joy and great feelings of admiration to them. They're going to give you, I guarantee you about 99% of them are going to go right to that type of definition for passion. And they have no problem with sharing that with you. And that is part of passion. The problem with that is that when you describe passion and just on that side, see, I believe passion is a two-sided coin. And if the things we love and enjoy are the head side, and if that's where you stop when you define passion, I think you are missing the boat. See, there's a tail side of the coin, passion, as well. And that side, very few people will visit. Why? Because oftentimes on the other side of the things we like are the things we don't enjoy. The things that we don't get our feeling, we don't get excited about. Things that get underneath our skin and annoy us. Things that get your blood boiling. But many people won't visit this side of the coin because it stirs up painful memories. You know, maybe they had a bad experience or unpleasant memory of being bullied, taken advantage of, or they hate, maybe they didn't have a lot of money. Whatever it is, they don't enjoy this part of the coin and they miss out on a wonderful opportunity to make a difference. See, when you don't visit the other side of the coin, you are limiting your scope in view of passion. Passion is two-sided. And once you figure out what both sides of your coins are, that, my friend, will lead you to the opportunities that are within your realm to make a difference and to walk in your purpose. See, I believe your passions are uniquely tied to you and they present opportunities for you to make a difference. So let's think about it this way. When you look at the things that you enjoy, that's easy. You can rattle those off probably nonstop, the things that you love and that you feel strongly about. But when you go to the other side of the coin and talk about things you don't like, it may take you a minute to really think about what are those things that I don't like. And when I say dislike, let's get real. I'm not talking about those superficial things like I don't like, red socks. I don't like strawberry ice cream. I'm not talking about that. That's superficial. When I say dislike, I'm talking about those things that get underneath your skin that make you want to do something about it. Let me repeat that. The things that get underneath your skin that make you want to do something to change it. That's a passion that I'm talking about that's assigned uniquely to you. Let me give you an example. Let's say we went on a group trip and we were walking down the street and we saw somebody being assaulted. Now, some of us in the group we all see the same thing, but we would fall in different categories. For some of us, we would say, well, I feel bad for the victim, but it wasn't me. I don't know that person. And they would keep on walking. Another set of us in the group would see that same thing and would feel like, man, that was wrong. I got to say something. I got to do something. Or they would say, well, next time that person needs to be careful. We place the blame on the victim. The third group who saw the same exact thing that you saw, that group would say, man, they would blame the surroundings around them. Man, you got to be careful in this neighborhood. See, they look for others to blame or look for reasons to what happened and, to blame for the assault. Man, that you can't walk in this neighborhood at this time of night. You should know better than that. They blame the victim or they blame the circumstance. But then there's the fourth group. And that group would be so upset by what they witnessed, they would either stop the assault or they would chase down the perpetrator to make sure that he paid for what he did by calling the police or whatever they would have to do, but they would take an action. That's the passion that I'm talking about. The kind that makes you, that you don't enjoy that experience, but it made you do something. You took an action. There's a difference. Remember, all those groups that I just listed, they all saw the same thing, right? But they reacted to it differently. And you know people like that. And many of us would like to believe we're in the fourth group where we would take action. But it really depends on what it is that you witness and what bothers, to the degree in which it bothers you. Because if it doesn't really get underneath your skin to make you do an action, then it was nothing more than a mere nuisance or minor inconvenience. But if it makes you take an action, that's good, because that means that passion is uniquely assigned to you so that you can make a difference. Did you get that? The reason it'll bother you, and you know that it bothers you because it's the kind of thing that the dislike that will keep you awake at night. You can't sleep. It'll be an experience that you'll witness or it'll happen to you, and you can't let it go. That's good. That's God's way of saying, hey, I'm tapping you on your shoulder right now because I put you on this earth to do something and to make change and to walk in your purpose. And part of that is to address that situation that you just saw. So maybe, again, let's go back to the likes and dislikes. Nobody likes the group that we just talked about. Nobody would like seeing somebody get assaulted. Nobody. I don't think anybody enjoys that. But again, the degree to which it bothers you, it varies. All of us will see the same thing, and the degree in which we will get offended by it or upset will vary. And that's what I'm talking about, visiting the other side of the coin. When you talk about passion, you have to look at both sides of the coin to really get a full scale definition or perspective on what it is you should be doing. So what I want you to do over the next week is I want you to do a simple exercise. I want you to take out a piece of paper, and then on one side of the paper, I want you to put down likes or love. On the other side, I want you to put down dislike or hate. Remember that hate word was in our definition earlier. And then I want you to list the things that you like, and then list the things that you don't like or your dislikes, and see if there's a common thread there. Because in between these two lists, again, I'm going to say this and pay close attention. In between these two lists is your opportunity to make a difference. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcasts for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Let me give you an example in my own life how this worked. When I was, many years ago, when I was working in corporate America, as I shared with you last week when I talked about talent, I was wasting away. My talents weren't being used. I was living in a community where there were a lot of young people who didn't have a positive activity to do. And our community was being lambasted in the media for being bad and all the negative things. And I said, no, I can't let this narrative keep being shared. I have to do something, and I have to do something to help these young people. So what I did was I created my own basketball league to inspire young people to have something to do. And as a result of that, I started to really enjoy the experience of sharing and bringing in guest speakers. And I recruited men who were like-minded like me, who wanted to make a difference in the community. And we were able to impact 60 to 70 kids every weekend. We gave up our weekends to make a difference. And I can't tell you the number of kids we touched as a whole over the years that we did the league. That's what I'm talking about. See, prior to me starting my own league, there was another league not too far from in the community that a lot of young people were going to. And, the league wasn't well run. It was a good idea, but it wasn't well run. So each weekend I would watch the kids go up to the league and they would be disappointed because they didn't have a chance to play their games. They were told you're going to play today at 11 o'clock. And when they get there, they didn't play till 1 o'clock. So if you can imagine young people, you keep telling them one thing, they look forward to that activity. And then when they get there and they don't realize that, it's not realized that they're going to actually play at that time or have the opportunity to play, they would get disappointed. I watched this go on week in and week out, as well as other adults. Now, how many of you know this? It's easy to complain, and when you complain, you can get a lot of people to join in with you in the chorus. Many of us sat in the sideline and complained each weekend about what we were seeing. However, as I said, remember, you fall into different groups. Only one of us, the people that was complaining, decided to offer to help the director, first and foremost. And then secondly, said, you know what? I can do better. I can help these young people and make sure they have a good experience. Guess who that person was? That's right. It was me. It was out of that experience that I birthed my own league to make a difference and to give those young people a good experience. And once I did that, again, I didn't enjoy that experience of watching young people have their heads hanging, watching them be upset when they run up to the court and they didn't play. I didn't enjoy that experience. That wasn't something I liked, but it got underneath my skin so much that, remember what I said earlier, you have to do something about it. If you don't do anything about it, then it's really not your dislike for you. It's just an annoyance. I said, you know what? Next year, I'm going to do something about that, and I'm going to start my own league. And so I did that. And the league just grew and grew and it blossomed. But as a result of doing that, more doors of opportunity for me to share my talents came with that. I didn't seek it. I didn't know it was going to happen. But it was one of those things that when God said, okay, now my son, now that you worked out and decided to make a difference, here's some more opportunities for you to continue to do what I'm asking you to do and to fulfill the purpose that I have for you. So from that opportunity of starting that league, it led to a springboard of opportunities for me that I'm still walking into this day. But just imagine if I had just sat in the sideline like so many of you do and just complained about something and didn't take action to fix it. Where would I be? I'd probably be still in corporate America, if I'm lucky, miserable, sitting on my talents. So I want you to do this exercise today. I want you to take out a piece of paper and write down on one side of the column, just write a few down, things that you really enjoy, that you love, and the things that you don't like on the other column. See if there's a thread there. And here's what I would submit to you. There are physiological differences of that things that you like to do and enjoy doing and the things that really get under your skin are very similar. The only difference is the way you feel about them. So, for instance, let me give you some of my likes and dislikes. One of my likes is inspiring people, young and old. But, for this topic and for this example, I'm going to say I love inspiring young people. What's a major dislike for me? Disappointing young people. You see the thread there? I like inspiring young people, but I can't stand seeing young people disappointed, especially if I'm a part of that disappointment. I can't sleep. I can't live with myself. See, that's how I know it's uniquely assigned to me. Another thing, let's say I like coaching and teaching, right? I love doing that. Coaching sports and teaching topics like this. What I don't like is when we predetermine a young person's future. That to me bothers me. When someone predetermines a young person's future, oh, you're just like your dad, you're not going to be nothing, or you come from that side of the town, you're not going to make it. That really gets underneath my skin. So I think you can see some common threads there. I like financial literacy, learning about financial literacy. What I don't like and what I hate was being broke and having bad money management habits. You see the thread there? Again, more opportunities come when you can put both your likes and dislikes together. I'll give you another example before I move on. Years ago, a friend of mine called me up and asked me if I would mind being a adjunct professor at a local college. Now, immediately, the fear kicked in. I was like, man, I can't teach that course. I've never taught a college course before. I'm not certified as a teacher. All the reasons why I shouldn't teach the course in class came to my mind and it came rushing in. And I told her, man, let me get back to you. Let me think about it. And as I was thinking about it even more and more, I kept finding reasons why I couldn't do the course. Eventually, I talked it over with my wife, and she said, what are you afraid of? Well, stop being afraid. What is it that you think you can't do? And she said, if you don't try, how do you know if you ever can do it? Now, those are words of wisdom that I needed to hear, and it was a reality check. So let me go back to my passion. One of my passions is financial literacy. One of the things I don't like is being broke and have bad money management habits. Do you know what the name of the course was? Let me tell you. It was sports finance. So I love sports, I love literacy and finance. And I was afraid to teach this course when it's right within my wheelhouse of my passion. And needless to say, I did teach the course, and I had a great time doing that. Learned a lot about myself and learned how to connect with even more students and young people. But I would have missed out on the opportunity had I not realized what my passion was, my likes and dislikes. That's what I mean by opportunities will come when you know what both sides of the coin are. So I'm going to encourage you to write them down, look at them, and see what the opportunity is for you to make a difference with your passion. Your passion and your talent are combined to help you walk in your purpose. So again, do the exercise and remember what I talk about and how I define the word passion. Don't let that definition go, and continue to work on being the best you that you can be. Join me next week as I share the third part of this segment of the TPC principles. And I'm going to talk about the word called, CALL.